Up next on ITV, How Can I Help? With your host, Ronnie Das.
Hi, my name is Ronnie Das, and I recently graduated from UCSD. My parents were proud, I felt accomplished, but now like so many others in my situation, I'm trying to understand what to do next. I'm interested in the environment and green policy, but it's hard to determine what's actually useful and what's just a marketing scheme. So I went out to learn from the ground up what local San Diego businesses, industries, farms, and nonprofit groups are doing to make a difference by educating, implementing, or currently using green and sustainable practices. So sit back, relax, and welcome to How Can I Help? Clinton Global Initiative University held this year at UCSD, I got to ask 42nd President of the United States, Bill Clinton, his thoughts on the environment. One of the statements really stood out, and I wanted to begin the episode by sharing a piece of the press conference.
It will be an exciting time, and it may turn out a lot better than the doomsdayers say. But I don't understand all these people that are in denial about this. If there are good, economically sound, job-intensive ways to change the way we produce and consume energy, I personally do not understand why we walk away from that.
After hearing Bill Clinton speak, I was interested in seeing if there were economically viable solutions to the energy issue. So I went to Cecillia Aguillon from Kyocera Solar to see how this industry is lighting the way.
It's another beautiful day here in sunny San Diego, and I'm here with Cecillia Aguillon from Kyocera.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. And I was wondering, so how does Kyocera fit into the solar and green sustainable energy sector?
Well, Kyocera is a multinational corporation, and we are in the space of many things like semiconductors, cell phones, printers and copiers, and one of the divisions is solar energy. We have been in solar energy since 1975. We have been producing. Kyocera was the first company actually to come up with the way to mass produce the solar cell, the PV cell, photovoltaic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's the method that's been used, all over the world right now for the technology.
Oh, so definitely pioneers in the industry.
Absolutely, and we are involved in the rural areas all over the world, and obviously in the cities like this one. And Japan is our headquarters, and we do have manufacturing in Tijuana, Mexico, and in San Diego, California, but not too far from here.
Wow. And what first brought this technology to Kyocera's attention?
Was basically the oil embargo in the 1970s. We saw that we cannot rely on fossil fuels, that it is the prices go up and down and we have no control, that we need a sustainable source of energy, and the realization that solar is just so prevalent all over the world, and that it does have energy and that we can convert that energy to electricity thanks to the solar cells, which by the way was invented in California, the Bell House, in the 1950s.
Oh, wow.
So what we decided was, okay, what do we do with this technology to help not only get us away from fossil fuels, but also to create economic development? Last year alone, the prices for panels came down by 50%.
Oh, wow.
And since 1990s, when Kyocera was like one of the biggest players in Japan, the first program ever to deploy solar on homes and businesses, the prices have come down by more than 90%.
Oh, wow.
So we see a decline in prices. What we are doing is putting a lot of investment in research and development to increase efficiency and reduce cost.
Well, Cecillia, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for setting up a solar industry in San Diego and for your time.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
Now that I've learned more about the solar industry, I want to see how companies are implementing this technology in San Diego. First stop, commercial solar installation with Linda Strand of Independent Energy Solutions.
I'm here with Linda, and she works for Independent Energy Solutions. So could you tell us a little bit about that company and what you do for them?
Independent Energy Solutions is a design-build firm, solar firm, and our mission is to engineer and construct solar systems on time, on budget, and the best possible ones out there.
Oh, wow. And how long have you guys been in San Diego?
We opened our doors almost 13 years ago, and you know what? Independent Energy Solutions is one of America's oldest design-build firms.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, as the oldest firm, I mean, what could you tell us the scope of some of the projects you guys are doing?
We specialize in large commercial-sized projects.
Thank you so much for your time. This is an amazing structure, and I look forward to seeing more of this in San Diego.
Oh, thank you.
It's great to see IES constantly expanding. While these are major installations that really help the economy and community, you don't need to own your own company to enjoy the benefits of solar. Let's explore Baker Electric Solar, which does residential solar installations.
So, tell us a little bit. I mean, this is just getting built right in front of us. What's the process? What are you guys getting done today?
We're in the process of building a photovoltaic, which is a solar electric solar system on this home. The system itself is called an array. This is a 6.75 kilowatt system that should offset just about all of this homeowner's electric needs.
Wow. And then, so you're saying on sunny days in San Diego it's always sunny, but what happens on cloudy days with solar panels?
Well, the cloud cover really does affect solar installation. You basically take the irradiant energy from the sun, and there's a silicon membrane in here that releases photons and electrons to produce energy as they're sitting here on the roof. And when you have any type of shade on them, either be it from a tree or dirt or some other obstruction, a frisbee or cloud cover, it really does have an impact on the production. Cloud covers are fairly variable and will blow by pretty quickly, and in most cases the energy production will go right back where it was.
Oh, perfect. Well, how can I help?
Well, these guys behind me are putting down some modules. Why don't you get out there and give them a hand?
Perfect, thanks.
Let it drop, make sure that
okay.
slide the panel in.
Okay.
Once it's in, and you gotta line it up. Let me get the.
I got it right here.
The gun.
Drop it down.
So what we do is I use the battery itself to line it up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If it's cockeyed, it'll see right there.
Nice.
So
Okay.
now you wanna just go ahead and screw it, yeah. A little more.
Oh, a little more.
It sure is hard to film on a roof, but we got a better angle on the second panel we installed, so let's see that again. Step 1, connect panels using mounting parts. Step 2, straighten the panels by using the bottom of the drill as a guide. Step 3, tighten mounting using drill. Step 4, hand over the drill to the next guy. Now that's teamwork.
From that system comes all the way down, it ties right into here with DC power. AC comes out, ties right back into the sunlight out. But at night, when the sun goes down, obviously you're not producing. So you stay tied into SDG&E and the power grid, so that they produce power and they provide it to you in the hours that you can't generate.
Oh, okay. That's why if it was a remote area, you'd need the batteries because of nighttime, basically.
Correct.
You're just doing it that way. But
Yeah,
for the average homeowner, this is just, perfect for the day, offset yourself. And,
Exactly.
okay.
And I've been researching it for years. And I've kind of been waiting for the cost to come down to a point where I felt comfortable, and that has happened. And of course I was looking for an installer that had a good reputation, and I found Baker, and really happy with the results so far.
Nice. Have you? I noticed you had solar for your pool already, and this seems like just the next step in that. Did you just really like that technology? Is that what
Yes, yes. I'm looking forward to being my own energy company. My system is of a sufficient size that I should pretty much zero out my electricity use, and perhaps even, if I conserve enough, maybe send some more energy back into the grid. All things considered, and that means I'll be getting a refund from SDG&E.
Oh wow! So JGE's starting up right now, huh?
That's right.
Now that I've brightened up to the idea of this technology lighting the way for a sustainable San Diego, I wanted to go to the California Center for Sustainable Energy to see how they use education, outreach, and economic incentives to make solar panels a realistic option.
Really boils down to one thing. It's helping to make California, starting in San Diego, sustainable, through our energy usage and our practices.
Oh, great, great. And then I've been getting a little bit of information about this, but what is renewable energy?
Renewable energy it can happen in many different formats, particularly wind and the use of sunlight to create electricity.
Okay.
And there's also other things such as using ocean currents and stuff like that to drive generators and turbines.
And how does solar power make energy then?
It's actually really simple. The sun hits the modules,
okay.
And then it creates DC electricity.
DC electricity.
That DC or direct current electricity runs into the inverter. It's a central point where all that electricity is kind of gathered from the system, and it turns into AC electricity. AC electricity is alternating current.
Okay.
That's the usable current. We plug an appliance into an outlet. That's
okay.
What's being used right there.
Oh, and then so what is the conventional method that a typical home gets energy, and how is solar an advantage?
Sure. So there's multiple sources that the utility has to help deliver power to you if it's a home or a business. It's really all in one, and your house is sucking that electricity from the grid. Okay. And then the meter is there and it's spinning forwards and to count how much electricity or in kilowatt hours you're using. If you have solar on your roof, you're creating that electricity on site, and so it's going into your main circuits in the house and service panels, and then it's not needing that electricity from the grid, so kind of slowing it down and stopping it.
Okay. And then what are the environmental benefits of not using the electricity from the grid?
Well, the less we can use from the grid, that means the less that those peak natural gas fired or coal-fired power plants have to actually run. So the emissions that they emit into the air are reduced.
Oh, wow. So then that sounds like it's doing a lot of benefit for us.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, cool. Great. Could you tell us a little bit about these types of solar panels?
Yeah, so here we have a couple of different types of solar panels. There's really two main technologies. One is the amorphous or thin film.
Amorphous. Okay.
And you can see compared to the crystalline technology, these are made of wafers and cells.
Oh, okay.
That takes.
I can touch it, right?
Oh, definitely. You can okay. Here, this is a technology that's more conformable to surfaces like this Spanish-style replacement roof.
Yeah.
And if you can see from that picture right there, it's exactly what it's doing.
Oh. So what is the conversion efficiency in these kinds of technologies?
So for the crystalline, it's more than the thin film.
Okay.
These are anywhere from, let's say, 14, 15, 16% efficient, compared to these, which are more like 9 to, let's say, 12% efficient. This technology actually works really good in when you're not in direct sunlight or when there's cloud covers.
What do you think would be a good amount to start budgeting if they wanted to get into something like solar technology?
Well, let's think of that in terms of what the average house in California uses. The average house that puts solar on, they use about 10,000 kilowatt hours a year.
Okay.
And what they want to do is offset about 75 to 80% of that to make it most economics.
Okay.
And so what you're talking about with the 30% federal tax credit that is given by the federal government, and then our incentive here in California, a homeowner would want to set aside maybe $10,000 to $15,000, which would be the average out-of-pocket expense for that size system.
Oh, okay. So you said 10 to 15,000 out of pocket. So there is subsidies and incentives and rebates out there.
Definitely.
And then, what are some resources if people are getting interested in actually going this solar route?
Well, first and foremost, as long as you're down here in San Diego, you have the California Center for Sustainable Energy as a resource. Again, our program has marketing component, so we do a lot of heavy outreach to homeowners and contractors as well to make sure standards are met. But for homeowners, there's this mysticism about what solar does and how it works for you. They come see us. We have our Solar for Homeowners workshops that we give. And we just demystify everything for you. Everything from how you're getting charged to what solar is actually going to do for your electric bill.
And what are some of the misconceptions you see when you have to demystify those?
Really, the cost of it, the high cost.
Okay.
But tying that to your electric consumption. If you don't do solar over the course of 15, 20 years, which is the or 20 years, 20, 25 years, which is the lifetime of a system, or the warranty period of a system.
Okay.
If you're paying $200 a month, that's going to add up to a significant amount of cost that you're paying to someone else. If you invest in the solar system, you're going to take that money that you would have otherwise spent on electricity from the utility and buy your own system and ultimately pay it off in a certain period of time.
Okay. So you could actually sustain and understand what you're doing instead of being like, just being at somebody else's will.
Yeah, no, exactly. And as we all know, we pay electric bills, and it's just one of those things that we take for granted. We need the power. We want to turn on the light, and we want that light to be there. And so it's just something, regardless of how much we use, we just pay it.
Okay.
So people need to start thinking about alternative ways that we can actually produce our own electricity and save on our electric bills.
Absolutely. I wanted to learn more about how solar panels affect the environment. I'm here in Kearney Mesa with April to tell us a little bit about what we see here today, these great solar panels. So how is SDG&E involved in this project, the scope of it?
Yeah, my name is April Duke, and I work with SDG&E, and really what we try to do, this is one of 25 solar systems that SDG&E has throughout the community. We work in partnership with the County of San Diego, and we own these solar panels. We lease the space from the county. And it's great because what we're really looking at doing is developing microcosms throughout San Diego County that are highly efficient, that are highly sustainable. And this solar panel system right here is the equivalent of planting 11,000 trees.
Wow.
Or not driving a car 1,000,000 miles.
1,000,000 miles?
1,000,000 miles.
Wow, so that's offsetting, San Diego. Are you seeing more of these projects being developed? Can you tell us a little bit about the county's involvement with
Sure. I'm April Hines, the Director of General Services and the owner and developer of this property. We're redeveloping the county's operations center, and while we're tearing down old buildings that were built in the mid-60s and were terribly inefficient, we're creating a brand new campus with over 300,000 square feet of new construction that's rated LEED Gold, which is one of the highest levels for leadership in energy and environmental design. And these buildings will use 27% less energy than is currently required by the building. And in addition to using less energy, we're also partnering with SDG&E and others to bring in other features such as this photovoltaic system, which create additional energy to help sustain the community with a reliable energy source, and create a good business relationship with our partners as SDG&E, but also serve as a good citizen in the community. So we're not only being good stewards of the taxpayers' money, but we're also being good stewards of the environment here in San Diego County.
Wow, so it's if say San Diego is going to go forward with smart growth and efficient designs in the future.
That's correct. This is part of our greater sustainability program across the county. So not only are we trying to reduce our environmental footprint in the county, we're also trying to be a good leader and set the proper example for our community and how the future growth should occur for the rest of the country.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it's a great thing to have in sunny San Diego. It seems like a great energy source for all of us. I've seen these signs, America's Solar City. That's San Diego, right?
San Diego has the most solar rooftops of any city in the country.
Now I really have a good idea of how solar panels affect the community. It's great to see a solar Diego. Now that I know how solar panels produce electricity, boost the local economy, and help the environment, I want to meet with Jack Mueller, who has solar panels, to get the final word on what's up with solar.
I'm here at Scripps Ranch with Jack Mueller, and I mean, we have a beautiful day here in San Diego, and this is just a great looking canyon, but it seems like there's a whole different story around 2003. Could you tell us what happened?
2003 was the first, wildfires that we experienced here. It was early in the morning, and the whole canyon basically, was on fire at about 8:30 in the morning, and the fire came from the northeast from Ramona.
Okay.
And moved quite quickly, so we were all evacuated at about 8:30 in the morning.
Jeez.
And left. And then weren't allowed to come back in until the following Tuesday, which was 3 days later.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
that's when most of us, realized that if you lived on the ridge, your house had a high probability of not being there anymore. The rebuild process, started because the communities, is very active and very, we have a pretty good collective group.
Oh, great.
And the current president of the Scripps Ranch Civic Association started Project Phoenix. It was basically a way to communicate amongst all of the people that were trying to, rebuild, work with the insurance companies, and collectively work together to solve the issue of getting back into our homes.
Oh, wow.
And that was a great asset.
So,
first thing was everybody trying to help each other out to find places to live, how to get the kids to go to get to school, and just function. That was the initial phase.
Yeah.
And then the next phase was, okay, now what do we do with the insurance issue?
Yeah.
How do we end up working with that and work through the whole process? Then the next phase is, okay, we're getting that aspect going. Now we want to rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
Where and how do we start and get it done?
Yeah.
And then once that issue started going, then it's design.
Yeah.
And that's where people started thinking, okay, how do we end up designing the properties so that we're ready for the next time when we have this type of an event?
Oh, okay.
We're going to protect our area from fire going down the road. We could end up just blasting out a question, and then all the neighbors who were working on the same issue could respond.
Oh, wow.
So even though you weren't, physically, we were, relocated, to the coast, and then we moved up to San Marcos.
Oh, okay.
So we were quite a ways away.
Every day, yeah.
So to be able to communicate with, neighbors that were experiencing the same problem, it collectively helped us to form an alliance. The big thing that I wanted to do is to keep, reduce our energy impact, and that's when we ended up looking into the solar system.
So how are you liking it now, after it was rebuilt and everything like that?
Well, we love it, and now it's not just a project, it actually has become a home, so that's a positive.
Yeah, that's the final result. That's exactly what you want. So nice place to call home, and I'm glad you have one back here in San Diego. Thank you so much for your time, Jack.
Thank you.
It's been amazing.
Now that I've received an education in the economics and efficiency in this alternative energy use, I'm very proud that San Diego is America's solar city. Stay classy, San Diego. To find out more about all our wonderful guests, or to get some information about this issue, be sure to log on to www.howcanihelpsandiego.com. See you there, Eco Diego fans. On the next episode of How Can I Help? We're taking a week off to celebrate America, so have a very fun and safe holiday, but we'll be back Friday, July 8th at 6 p.m. on ITV Channel 16 with an all-new episode. Let's see who's setting the scene for planting plants in our extraordinary ecosystem. So tune in and don't forget to wear your sunscreen as we go native with sustainable landscapes. What you want, what you want. Come
Come on.